Hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to LNT YouTube channel. That is the four of them. That's Prince William and Kate and Harry and Meghan united in their grief in shots, which many have hoped for, and now can see those two brothers and their wives in Windsor. It was something of a surprise for everyone to see that also Meghan and Harry were joining the clearly because there is folk princes who have lost their grandmother in the past couple of days. They came down the Cambridge Way together, all of them holding hands, and stopped and looked at all of the flowers. They are still here now doing that, looking at the thousands of flowers that have been left here by the members of public. They've been reading all of the messages that have been left as well and tribute to the Queen. And today, as we are watching at the moment, Meghan has just put her arm around her, are really emotional scenes here, and members of the public came today to lay flowers, walked up the long walk, and also been laying flowers here by the outside of Windsor Castle. I think a lot of people just wanted to be with each other in this moment in history, for moments like this, to see the princess, to see them. And I think we can now say really in depth, the Queen has been able to bring together two brothers who up until this point were barely speaking. Let's just remind ourselves that both Harry and Meghan were in the UK this week in any case for a series of events, and yet they, despite living very close to William and Kate on the Windsor estates, they had not exchanged any words or spoken. So the fact that the Sussex is and the Cambridge is as we used to call them. But now that Prince and Princess of Wales are able to do this, to walk out in front of the public. It is a huge moment after everything that's happened with the departure of Harry and Meghan from the royal family, the claims made on that long and infamous Oprah Winfrey interview, the very fact that the two brothers and their wives are doing this right now. This is a new era. This is the way that they want to do things. They do want to make sure that they do still feel that connection to the public, which they have worked on over the past few years and have done very successfully. And this is exactly what Prince William and Kate are doing at the moment, and also Meghan and Prince Harry. That's exactly what they are doing today. They are greeting members of the public. This is very much a new era in terms of what we are going to see going forward. I mean, it's entirely possible that there's a lot of water that's gone under the bridge since Harry and Meghan left the royal family in 2020. And I think looking at these pictures, seeing them doing that sort of joins walkabout. We haven't seen the two brothers do this for some considerable time. And we should perhaps remind ourselves again, the title Princess of Wales was one that Harry's and William and Harry's mother had. And think what that means for Harry as well, that his sister-in-law now carries the title that his late mother once had. I think there's so much symbolism, and looking at these pictures, I think a lot of people will feel mightily relieved that perhaps they found a path, perhaps they found a way to move forward together after all the acrimony that has happened behind the scenes. How significant is this moment, do you think? Well, I think this could be the gift that the sadness of Queen's death could produce. My guess is that the Queen's dying wish, if she had one, would have been that her grandsons started talking to one another. Again, we're friends with one another. Again, this has been the greatest tragedy in the royal family, I would have said almost to fur. And, it seemed they'd reached an impasse. But to see them together, they haven't. I mean, they haven't spoken to one another. There were side by side William and Harry at the unveiling of Diana's statue. And then they both went their separate ways. They didn't even have a cup of tea together. That is looking really promising. And I think that Prince Charles King Charles, last night, when he made that amazing speech in which he just nailed everything that needed to be said.
For Harry and Meghan, as they continue to build their lives overseas.
I think that was hugely important, because it was a signal, I think, to them that they are very much a part of this new era. They may be living abroad, but they are still very much love. And, again, his dearest wish, I have no doubt, is that his sons love one another again. I think most people might conclude that in death, the Queen has been able to bring these two brothers, the siblings, and their wives together. Indeed, and I know that I'm not sure if you can see these pictures right now. But I will just describe them to you. One can now see Prince William and Kate, who are greeting members of the public. They're spending time talking to members of the public, doing something not dissimilar to what Prince Charles did yesterday. And that is shaking hands, that is spending time. It feels as though similar to yesterday. This is a new era. This is the way that they want to do things. They do want to make sure that they do still feel that connection to the public, which they have worked on over the past few years and have done very successfully. And this is exactly what Prince William and Kate are doing at the moment, and also Meghan and Prince Harry. That's exactly what they are doing today, are greeting members of the public. This is very much a new era in terms of what we are going to see going forward. So we should reiterate that looking at these pictures of those two brothers and their two wives jointly leaving the gates, meeting the well wishes at the end of the long war. This is, we cannot underestimate the significance of this moment. The public have lost their queen, but when it comes to Harry and William, they've lost their grandmother, and today, just before we went on our Williams released a statement reflecting that he called the queen Granny. He said that she was by his side for the best times of his life and also the saddest days, and he said it will be some time before the reality of this would be sinking in. He went on in that statement to say my grandmother famously said that grief was the price that we paid for love. I will honor her memory by supporting my father, the king, in every way I can. He released that statement just before he came out here, and now clearly.
Quick disclaimer. Everything in this video and all of my videos are my opinion based on detailed research that I perform. That said, I would recommend doing your own research before you make up your mind. Thank you.
Now that King Charles III is reigning as the monarch of the United Kingdom, what happens to the controversial couple who famously stepped away from the royal family? Queen Elizabeth II, whose 70-year reign is the longest in British history, has died at the age of 96, the BBC reports. She was surrounded by her family at the time of her passing. Even the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, who was in London for an event, traveled to Balmoral Castle in Scotland to be with his family. Buckingham Palace released an official statement that read, "The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and the Queen Consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow." Queen Elizabeth's eldest son, Charles, immediately became king upon her passing. However, he will not be formally crowned in a coronation ceremony just yet. First, he will be leading the memorial services for his mother. The United Kingdom's royal family has a meticulously set order for who takes the throne and how it happens. This has been a tradition observed since the monarchy was established in 1066, according to Royal Central. But there's one wild card people are wondering about. What happens with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, since they're no longer working royals? Now that Charles is King Charles III, everyone after him in the line of succession shifts upward too. According to Cosmopolitan, Charles' elder son, Prince William, will take over his dad's former title as the Prince of Wales. He's now first in line for the throne. His 3 children, whom he shares with wife Kate Middleton, are next in line after him. According to Glamour, Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is now 5th in line for the crown, after his brother William and his children. It's pretty unlikely Harry will ever become king himself. So, in practice, nothing will change for Meghan and Harry now that Charles is king. They will still remain the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But King Charles may need their help along the way. Author Tina Brown told The Sun that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle could become assets for King Charles as he looks to appeal to a younger crowd now that he is the country's monarch. This could be their chance to return to the royal family and improve their standing with the British public. Brown said, "My guess is Charles is really going to want them back, sort of need them back actually, because Harry and Meghan were huge assets to the whole royal repertoire, quite frankly. They had a young appeal that was very, very potent in the country." Harry and Meghan famously announced they were stepping back from their royal duties in 2020 and moving to California. It apparently led to some family strain.
I had 3 conversations with my grandmother and 2 conversations with my father before he stopped taking my calls.
However, if King Charles chooses not to accept Harry and Meghan back into the fold, their children could face an interesting consequence, the Daily Mail notes. According to some, Charles is considering slimming down the monarchy, only giving heirs to the throne and their immediate families full titles, financial support, and police expenses funded by taxpayers. This could mean Harry and Meghan's children, Archie and Lilibet, may not get titles from their grandfather.
Stop. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more LMT videos about the royal family are coming soon. Subscribe to LMT channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.